Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining Real Talk with Dr. Linda. Hopefully, you're having a fantastic day. So, today I have a fabulous guest with me. Her name is Kelly Ackerman. So, I'll tell you a little bit about her and then I'll bring her on. So, Kelly Ackerman is the owner of Kelly's Workshop, and she provides proof editing services for digital business content and marketing copy, catering to women owned businesses. She reviews new and existing business content to ensure that her brand, or your brand, I should say, your brand messaging is clear, consistent, and grammatically correct across all of your digital platforms. Now, don't we all need something of that nature? Everyone's using digital for everything, all of your marketing. So you want to make sure that you have good content. You want to make sure that your marketing is pristine so that it will be eye catching for your potential clients. So without further ado, here is Kelly Ackerman. Hi, Kelly.
Hi. Hi,
Thank,
all. I hope you're having a good day.
yeah, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, Kelly, I have given my guests just a little bit about you. So, if you don't mind, tell the audience who is Kelly, what you do, that type of thing, and how did Kelly's workshop come to be?
Sure. And I should point out it's Word Shop,
Oh,
not Workshop.
it sure is Kelly's Workshop. I already changed your name to Workshop. My
Just thought
apologies.
no worries. I just thought I'd clarify. So basically, Kelly's Workshop was born out of a search for a new career path, as well as a love for reading and a passion for helping others succeed, and really having that neat natural tendency towards noticing the details or lack thereof. So after 15 years of working in a business environment, as a technical recruiter and then being part of a large layoff, I discovered proofreading as a profession. I had no idea it even existed. And so I completed a hands-on copy editing and proofreading certification. And after that, I started freelancing. And through that work, I started working with a nonprofit that caters to mentoring small business owners. And that really got me excited about, focusing on proofreading and copy editing business content, versus a book manuscript or, along those lines. So basically I thought, plus my background, as a recruiter in a business environment would really go a long way towards my new clients, in terms of, being able to speak to how effective communication, really drives business and moves us forward. So that's kind of where I came from and how my business came about.
Okay. So, Kelly, how long have you been in business?
So I've been in business for about a year. And so I've had opportunities with with the nonprofit organization that I work with to not only write success stories for their clients, but also they put out a client newsletter every month. And so I'm able to be the one to take a final glance, provide any revisions or corrections to that newsletter before it gets mailed out to its clients. And then I've also had some other projects that I've been working on as well. And so this is just really kind of an opportunity for me to get out there and introduce myself and my services.
Awesome. That is fantastic. So you mentioned that you worked 15 years in different business environments. So were you in corporate America first, and like some of us, you became an entrepreneur?
Exactly. And, I found I enjoyed what I did. I enjoyed recruiting. I my company treated me very well, or my companies treated me very well. Just, when the layoff occurred, I just found myself kind of wanting something more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've always been a supporter of kind of the underdog.
Mm-hmm.
And so even in recruiting, I found myself trying to help those those potential employees, with getting the job. And, you know, I just figured, I could be doing something good in another area that could really, affect and allow me to affect change in another person's business.
Right.
And you have got more opportunity to do that with small businesses than in corporate America.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And for those that are listening, I mean, we all know that 14 million people walked away from jobs last November or last fall. So, for those that may be listening, they may be struggling with, do I go back to my 9 to 5, or do I start my own business and become an entrepreneur? And so, for those that are listening, I'd say, give yourself a shot and try it, because Kelly, you're a great example. I mean, you have survived and you have your own business, Kelly's Wordshop. Um, now that I know the correct name. So, Kelly, tell us, why should business owners care about having just a few misspellings and maybe an extra space between words on their website or other marketing platforms? What does that do?
Sure. So, um, the simple answers are customer loyalty. It affects your customer loyalty as well as your brand reputation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Without those, you don't have a business, or your business wouldn't exist. And so every time a current or potential client comes across an error in your information that they're reading about your company, um, it's a distraction that takes away from them absorbing your message, um, and wanting to continue to read, about your business. So, um, also, if your content, is wordy with run-on sentences that don't get to the point of why your client should buy, that's also a distraction. And when clients are shopping around, for services and products, distractions really cause frustration, and
Yeah.
can lead to abandonment of, just the website or whatever you're reading. Um, and because there's so much competition out there, especially now with the advent of all of these, you know, people kind of, restructuring their work life, and working, digitally, there's a lot of competition out there for buyers to choose from.
Oh, yes.
And they're likely to bypass a company whose call to action is unclear, and you know focus on finding one that doesn't leave them confused as to
Mm.
how you're going to move forward, or how they're going to do business with you, or what the next step is. So it's really about your customer, showing your customer some respect,
Mm-hmm.
that they shouldn't have to be distracted by little errors or whatnot. And and
Sure.
also, ultimately that leads to your brand reputation, and whether or not it's seen as good or not so good out in the market.
Right. Yeah, great, great. Thanks for sharing that, because we as business owners have our websites and we get things up there really quickly, and we probably proofread it. We're thinking it's great, but you don't realize that, oops, I've made a mistake until someone brings it to your attention,
Yeah.
a potential client, and you're like, holy cow, I thought I edited that. I mean, that has happened to me once before. But you brought up a very good point around, your message and your brand. So one question is, when you see someone that has multiple skill sets and they have multiple things on their website, how is that, or is that confusing to audiences, or what's the best way for them to structure that?
And this kind of goes to marketing in general, of course. I've always been taught, you should market to a specific audience. The more
Mhm.
specific you can get, the easier it's going to be to reach those customers. Whereas if you're out there, you're trying to reach, a new grad, and you're trying to reach somebody who's retired, and you're trying to reach out to, you know, um, midlifers, so to speak.
Right, right.
Um, you're making your job that much harder by having that many potential readers, because your message is not going to hit home because it's all over the place. And so, it starts with marketing. It starts with knowing who your customer is, and really catering to what they need and what they want. So marketing is a big thing, but what I do, as I'm reviewing across different platforms, if it becomes apparent that there's maybe an opportunity for improvement in the marketing place of it, that definitely relates to what I'm doing, in terms of the messaging and the flow and the conciseness and everything. But that is something that I would notice and bring to your attention at least. And if that's something you want to take a stab at, I can definitely help you do that. But ultimately it goes back to marketing.
Marketing. Yeah, absolutely great. Well, we don't want our audiences to be confused. So, for those that are listening, if you are struggling with marketing, you need your website to be looked at, reach out to Kelly and at Kelly's Wordshop so that she can provide some proof editing services for you. Um, so, the next question I wanted to ask is, why should a business owner use an objective third party to do their proof editing?
So a couple of things. There's objectivity, which is right there in the question. There's professionalism. There is efficiency as well as privacy. So, I don't know, if you're aware of this, but when you write your own content or marketing copy, you're very familiar with that content.
Mhm.
And so you tend to skim it when you reread it because you know what the message is, how the message ends. And so your brain really fills in those blanks. And so the same goes for having like a colleague or a coworker looking at that content as well. They're really too close to the content to be effective, you know, objectively, because
Right.
they work within your company too. They know the content, and so they're likely to miss things too. And then also, for family and friends, they typically, not always, want to support you and don't want to call out your errors.
Right.
They want to be enthusiastic and cheer you on. And so that's really hard, I think, to put a family member or a friend in that situation, just because
Mhm.
they're not likely to help you out. They're probably just going to want to, say great job and cheer you on. And, so there's that objectivity, but, with that, there comes privacy issues. I review, for example, client contracts. And so if you had a family member or a friend reading those client contracts, I mean, you could definitely be putting your business at risk, by having somebody who's isn't familiar with confidentiality or privacy or, that sort of a thing to go out there and, spread the word.
Right.
So privacy is big as well, and efficiency. In addition to all of this, proofreading and copy editing takes time and a lot of focus. The content is read multiple times. Looking for the various things that we're educated to be looking for. It's not only spelling errors and incomplete sentences, but also the flow and the clarity and all of that. So, we're trained to know what to look for. And if you think about it, is a colleague or a friend really going to spend their free time?
Probably not.
Focus objectively on your content without getting pulled in 1,000 different directions.
Right.
So, we want, myself, I want to help. It's a natural thing that I'm good at.
Right.
It's attention to detail. And so, I don't want to nitpick, anything that you've done or anything like that. It's just helping to help you succeed in your business.
Right. Yeah. Just fine tuning it, making sure that the message is clear and grammatically correct, no spelling errors or anything of that nature. That's awesome. So now, do you suggest or advise people to create their own websites, like using different platforms, or is that something that you do in your wheelhouse?
I did create my own website, but it was a long and arduous process. It took quite a long time. So it's not something I'm familiar with WordPress, but I'm no guru by any means. I can maybe help consult, on specific issues, but it's not my strong point or my wheelhouse.
Gotcha. So do you recommend people hire a third party to make sure that their marketing is on point, or try it out for yourself and then get someone to help you? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I know new business owners, entrepreneurs, having enough money to spend everywhere you want.
Right. Yeah, because when you're a business owner, money's just flying all the time.
Yeah. And so it's a challenge to be able to, or have to make decisions on where you put your money.
Right.
If you're technically inclined, you can go out there and, try it and test it. And if it doesn't work, at that point, employ somebody. I guess going back to my experience, I would have paid somebody up front to do it for me, because it would have saved me so much time. Granted, I learned a lot, but there are really talented people out there who, do copywriting for a living. For free, as freelancers, or and so it's really how much money you want to put into
it's always about the dollar.
It always comes into play.
It does. Well, great. Thanks for asking that. So, we've touched on, like websites, but of course, with now everything is on social media. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. There's more than I probably can think of. But what platforms do you proof edit for your clients?
Sure. So, website pages, it doesn't have to be the whole website. If you're just concerned about one page or two, I'll do those. Also, email sequences. So if you have clients that you send, an email to, and then another email to follow up and try to get them to buy, those email sequences are things that I will proof edit, as well as individual emails. So if you have to send out an email to, a CEO or somebody in another organization, and you're not sure of what you're writing, that's something I'll look at as well. Also, blog posts. So if you're a blogger and you're out there blogging, that's something I'll do as well. And now I should designate that would be separate from a website.
Okay.
Or a web page review. So if you have a blog on your website, that would be something separate.
Okay. All right.
Yep. In addition to that, I'll do presentation decks. So, if you give presentations on a regular basis and, don't want your clients or whoever, to come across an accidental error.
Yeah, we can't have that.
That's something I'll look at, as well as client contracts, professional bios, speaker sheets for conferences, business articles, newsletters, and those are the main focus. But I'll also look at like doing training materials or like an employee handbook or job descriptions. If there's something that's not listed on my website that you're interested in, just ask, because I'm sure that it's something that, that we can work through.
Awesome. Good deal. And what's your typical turnaround time period? If someone, let's say for an example, has a presentation that they want reviewed and they want you to check out their website, what's your typical turnaround time period?
So I would say for like a presentation, it would be within 24 hours.
Okay.
Just, because when I look at my workload, I kind of view it as a whole. And if there are things that I know are going to take me longer, I'll scatter that throughout my schedule and kind of, control it that way in terms of spreading it out. So that leaves, openings here and there for those shorter things that need or that come up that needs attention.
Okay. So. Awesome. Good deal. Well, time is money. So, sooner you can get it back around, but within reasonable, I think people will really appreciate it, particularly if it's a presentation in 24 hours. That's really good, because oftentimes as speakers, we get, an opportunity at the last minute.
Right.
Right. And we may not have time to proofread it. So we're just like, we got to just take it and run with it, which is great. So, now if someone wanted to get in contact with you, well, first, before I go there, do you charge like a flat fee, or is it based upon whatever the project is?
So it is project based. Typically, I work with packages, so it's usually a package type deal where, you choose the avenues or the content that you want and it's included. And that I can renew those rates at a subscription if you decide you want to continue with that same process or that same service.
Okay.
And so it's more so based on packages and subscriptions, renewals, that sort of a thing. But if you have just an individual one-off need, I'm still completely open to helping you out. So don't be afraid to reach out.
Awesome, awesome. And I forgot to ask earlier, but where are you based?
I'm actually based in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Awesome.
And
Good
so it's
deal.
it's like polar vortex weather here this week. Yeah. So
Well, we're kind of chilly here out in the Carolinas as well. So, that's great because everyone is now working virtually. So, if you're listening
mhm,
to Kelly and you want her services, she can help you out,
yeah.
regardless of where you're located. Awesome. So, Kelly, if someone is listening and they're thinking, she sounds pretty good and I might need her services, how do they get in contact with you?
So they can go to my website, and there is a contact link. So you can go in there, just say you saw me via Dr. Linda's Facebook live show. And actually, um,
Yeah.
if you want to book a service, so if you're going to book a service anyway, I will provide a free homepage web page review for you. So that would be something that if you wanted to sign up for a package, that would be something that would automatically be done without a charge. But my website is https or I'm sorry, colon semi colon // Kelly's, and that's KELLYS wordshop.com.
All
So
right.
https kellyswordshop.com, or you can send me an email directly to Kelly at kellyswordshop.com. I also have on my website, there is a place where you can automatically set up a conversation with me. So it gives you my schedule, and if you want to move forward, you can contact me that way as well. So a couple of different ways to reach out, but definitely hopefully look forward to visiting with one or some of you.
Awesome, good deal. So as you have heard, if you want to get it with Kelly, go to her work her website at kellyswordshop.com, or you can send her an email at kelly@kellyswordshop.com. And I think she mentioned book a service and receive a free homepage web service for free. Did I get that correct?
Basically a homepage website review. So
Website review. Yeah, absolutely.
yep.
Well, I mean, that's a great free service.
Yeah, and I would just ask, if you want to take advantage of that service, when you fill out the contact form, just put if you could indicate the promotional code of FB Live 22. So, shortened for Facebook Live
Gotcha.
22. And then, we'll be sure we've got you covered.
All righty. And I'm writing this down so that people can connect with you and get that free service. Any last words, Kelly, to those that are listening or those that may be watching later?
Just, just know that, there are individuals out there who really do feel strongly and passionately about supporting small business, specifically women-owned small businesses. And so we're here to support one another. And if I can support you in anything you're doing, I would be happy to hear from you or whatnot. So I just want to thank you all, and thank you, Dr. Linda, for having me. And And yeah.
Awesome. Great. Awesome. Awesome. So again, those who are listening, don't miss out on this great opportunity with Kelly at Kelly's Word Shop. Go to her website at kellyswordshop.com. Send her an email at Kelly at kellysworkshop.com and get that free service for a free discovery call, I would say, or a free consultation with Kelly, and you'll get a free service of reviewing your homepage. So, I mean, that's worth probably a couple $100, actually, probably. I won't speak for you, but I'm pretty sure it is. So you're getting that free service by listening today and enter in code FBLive22. So Kelly, thank you so much for joining me today. It has been a pleasure to get to know you a little bit better and learn more about your business and the services that you provide for particularly women in business, but anyone who is interested in getting some marketing support and digital services, because we all need this. We are now in a digital world here in 2022. So get up with Kelly, and thank you all for joining me today on Real Talk with Dr. Linda. I will see you next Thursday. It'll be February. It's hard to believe. So until then, have a great afternoon, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.